Hey y'all, happy Sunday. I am going to be doing a weekly reading vlog this week, and I really need to buckle down and get some reading done. So like I said, it's Sunday. I started the day off by going out to lunch with my parents, which was really nice. Now I just finished doing a little bit of filming. I probably need to finish out some editing, do some chores around the house, take Faith on a you-know-what. It is Peace Talks weekend for Realmathon, and I have gotten literally so little reading done because basically any book you finish for this weekend, you get 10 bonus points. I've not finished any books. I've actually done some reading, but it's like I hit points where I needed to film updates for the books I was in the middle of, and unfortunately I never actually got to read the manga / graphic novels I was planning on, which would really have been a big help here. But I'm still gonna try and get some of those done today while I have the time. First one being Spy Family Volume 11 by 𝗖cie 𝗁𝘁, because this just came out. I went and got it yesterday. I'm so excited. Helps me continue on the series. Plus this is like a bluer-ish cover, so that'll get me that bonus point. And it has a school setting. That's another bonus point I just realized. Yeah. Excited for that. I also grabbed volume 6 of Fence Redemption by 𝗖cie his𝘁𝗁𝘁 and Joanna the Mad. So this again helps me continue on a series, and it's pretty short. Then I have 4 issues of Soul Eater by Atsushi Okubo. Again, continuing series, short reads, takes place at a school. Also just really getting so invested into the big plot that's developing here, so I'm very excited. At the very least, like hopefully I can get 3 of these done. If I could do more, that would be fantastic. Then for audiobook right now, I am currently in the middle of Star Wars Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. Obviously this is going to be for a Star Wars canon project, so I probably won't talk about it a ton in this vlog. I hit the halfway point, so I needed to film an update, which I just did. I am liking this so far, but the storyline feels a little disjointed, which is causing some issues. And then I haven't connected with any of the recurring characters we're following so far. Really, the plot is the only thing keeping me invested right now, so I need either the writing to improve or the character work to improve. So one way or another, I'll be even more invested into the story. This is a weekly reading vlog, so I do need to get done the books that I drew from my TBR jars. I'm not going to talk to y'all about those yet because who freaking knows? I am in the middle of so many books. My reading has kind of hit a standstill for the last few days. I think with all the talk of Bride, werewolf, and vampires and all that, I don't know, it put me in a Teen Wolf fanfic kick. So I've been reading a lot of Sterrick fanfiction lately. I need to stop that and focus on the books I'm reading. Oh, I also forgot to mention, I'm in the middle of an arc, The Angel of Indian Lake by Stephen Graham Jones, which my arc reading vlog for that should have already come out by the time you're seeing this vlog. I'll put a link to that in the cards if you're intrigued. Yeah, so I have a lot of reading to get done today. We'll see how this goes.
Do you want to go for a walk? Yeah? Okay. Okay, let's go for a walk.
Hey y'all, happy Monday. This is a new setup, mostly because I realized I hadn't filmed an update, but I'd already started the dishwasher, so there's a lot of background noise if I film like in the living room. You know how I had like really high expectations to get so much manga read yesterday, that graphic novel, catch up on a bunch of series? That was a good one, Nat. I mean, I will say, I was actually fairly productive yesterday. I got some filming done, I finished out some editing, I filmed a reel, I actually did do a little bit more reading, plus I cleaned the house a little bit, but really, I ended up watching Quiet on Set. It was, you know, terrible. Well, no, okay, like, terrible in the emotional sense. I cried 3 times. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of leave it at that. Didn't really get nearly as much reading done, and I didn't read any of that manga I had mentioned. Rather, I just got a little bit further into The Angel of Indian Lake. I think I'm like around 33% now, so not much. However, it's Monday. I had a not bad, but like slightly unexpected day at work. Nobody was supposed to be coming into the office, and then kind of turned out that apparently somebody thought was supposed to be a phone call was actually an in-person, and it turned into a thing. Then honestly, I came home and I had a really nice afternoon. I took Faith on a walk, even though it was really stormy and cloudy this morning, but it was a very nice day this afternoon. And then I did a quick workout. I ended up making dinner. It was this like shrimp curry that was very tasty. I went back and forth between like 𝗖cie, or I kind of was in the mood to like rewatch Naruto and also Avatar, but instead I watched the new first and second episode of Abbott Elementary, which was already hilarious, had me dying. I love Ava. I finished out Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. Honestly, I was kind of underwhelmed with this one, which is a real shame because I love the cover. It's very pretty. It bounces around between so many people. The plot that was really the main focus of the book was so unresolved. I wasn't happy about that. It's very clear this is the first book in a series kind of thing. You don't really get any answers at all. The giant space station is basically the only aspect of the plot that got wrapped up. And that's not enough to make it satisfying. You know, you kind of want to end on a bit of a cliffhanger to entice people to come in for the second one, which like obviously I'm going to, but you couldn't have given me more? And also because we followed so many different characters, first off, I like could never keep anybody straight. But second off, the stakes for following them just aren't there because you have no emotional attachment to them. Barring Avar on the front or Belle, the Padawan we see it from, nobody else really stood out. I don't even think you really see from anybody except for those two more than once. Really difficult to get connected to any of these characters, to care about how their story continues, to care about how their story ends in some cases. Yeah, this was not the best installment, unfortunately, but I did read it and I finished it, which is great. So it is 9:30. And honestly, I really need to read my arc. I do need to read the books that I have planned for this weekly reading vlog also, but I need to read my arc. So I think I'm gonna lay in bed and do that because I'm honestly kind of tired, and like this is the first time I've been ready for bed so early. Like I just want to lay down. Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Josh came over last night after I finished walking Faith and doing my workout. We were both starving, so we just went ahead, started on dinner, laid on the couch and watched a bunch of Boruto. I did get reading done yesterday. I actually focused on my arc for The Angel of Indian Lake because I really need to get that finished. Thankfully, I am nearly done with it, so that means I can officially start into Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen today. I went ahead and downloaded the audio, and I did start a little bit of it while I was at work just because I really want to try and get some more read this month, even though it's the end of the month. So I started this on audio, but I don't think this is like what I need audibly right now, so rather I will focus on reading this with my eyes tonight, and instead I will end up starting onto the audio for Only When It's Us on my walk with Faith. Actually no, I probably won't. I'll finish out The Angel of Indian Lake first because I have about an hour and a half left on listening time, so I'll finish that baby out and then I will listen to my romance book. Will that be tonight? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know, we'll figure it out. In other news, I hopefully will get some more reading in this weekend because Josh and I made the spontaneous decision that we are going to go with his parents to stay at this haunted hotel on Friday night. So we're gonna be staying at the Jefferson Hotel that, like I said, is haunted. Every single room has like a bit of a theme going on. We're gonna be staying in the speakeasy room. I don't think it's the haunted one. I'm pretty sure his parents are staying in like the really haunted room. The ghost there is known to specifically target single men, and obviously Josh's parents are married, so like that's not an issue. Still, it'll be kind of fun, and it is a little bit of a drive. Well, it's a fair amount of a drive for us. So I'll definitely get some physical reading in. Hopefully. I just messed with the white balance by holding this up. So that was definitely very last minute and unexpected, but it'll be pretty fun. Then, like I said, we watched a little bit more of Boruto. We actually were on this arc about Mirai, Asuma's daughter, and it was very cute seeing her like guarding Kakashi and Guy, even though clearly neither of these men need guarding. It was clearly filler, but it was very fun filler because we got to see a little bit more of a side character, which was one of my like biggest complaints in Naruto, is all of the filler was terribly done, where it didn't really build on any of the characters, in comparison to like Boruto has done that so much better. They've utilized the filler to actually build out the other characters that aren't the main three. Really liked that. There was also the super cute one with Mitsuki where he got a little pet cat. It was adorable. So I just got home from work. I am going to be taking Faith on a walk in a little bit. Don't think I'm gonna make dinner tonight. I have leftovers that I need to eat, so I'll probably eat those instead. And then we're gonna start on this baby. We're gonna do it, finally. Been needing to get to this for so long. Hey y'all, I'm getting ready for bed, but I needed to give you guys an update on the books I've been reading. First off, I had a pretty good day at work. It was very relaxed. I hope you had a good day as well. But I went over to my brother's, we had some good dinner and watched the Barbie movie as well as an episode of My Hero Academia. My niece is still quite little and I didn't go over there for like about a month just because of plans and like people being sick and stuff. When you don't see a little kid a lot, they don't remember you as well. She's officially hitting the point again where she remembers me and like runs up and gives me hugs and kisses and stuff, and like so that was very nice and very adorable. She mostly wanted to use me as a recliner while we were watching the Barbie movie. Last night I did start into Skin of the Sea. Not very far, maybe 35-ish pages, but our main character is 𝗖cie. She is a mermaid, and it seems as though mermaids they act on behalf of the head of the 𝗖cie, so they gather the souls of people who die in shipwrecks or people who are thrown overboard during the Atlantic slave trade, even though it's not distinctly called that. Much like was sold in the synopsis, the main character, 𝗖cie, ends up saving this boy who is thrown overboard. That's what I got. 𝗖cie also used to be human, and so she sort of remembers her human life, but not really. Like once they become a mermaid, they're supposed to kind of relinquish all ties and memories of that life. But for 𝗖cie, she wants to remember, so she will like go up onto land, and that allows her to remember better. And then I made a weird decision last night. So I've talked about before that I hate reading on my phone. I do. I'm just really bad at it. I get so distracted constantly. I don't know. It's just something about reading on my phone. It doesn't work for me. Came to the decision that I am going to try and get better about that. but doing so in a way that also helps me cut down on like my doom scrolling or just my wasted time. I'm actually gonna take a page out of my friend Kat's book. She is fantastic about reading easy romance books on her phone. I went through Hoopla and gathered a bunch of really short romance books that I'm interested in and basically favorited them. So one of those that I started actually, oh shoot, I meant to look it up. The Wolf and His Boy or something like that by 𝗖cie RH𝗁𝗁. Destiny had recommended me this one because I love the Green Creek series so much. It basically feels like Teen Wolf Steric meets Criminal Minds fan fiction. So our main character, Cooper, works for the BSI, which is like a supernatural version of the FBI. Mostly they just end up tracking down werewolves who commit crimes, but there's also like a lot of speciesism. It seems that now this group of werewolves that sort of act as the werewolf government, they're called the Trust, they are trying to put a stop to that. They're trying to make things a little bit better and also trying to ensure that the werewolves that are arrested are actually guilty criminals. I think he's going to be partnering up with a werewolf. I'm intrigued. That's really all I've gotten so far, but I did actually read like 2 chapters rather than just thumbing through Reddit a bunch today. On top of that, I did start into the audiobook of If Only You. I'm pretty sure I've called this book like so many different things now. Following the youngest sister, Ziggy, who is a soccer player. She is bisexual, she is on the autism spectrum, and she is tired of her family constantly treating her like the baby. She is tired of having this like perfect, good girl, angelic reputation. Meanwhile, her brother's best friend is a hockey player who really is going through it. I don't know why, because I'm only reading the 6th book, thanks to my friend Kat picking this one for me. He has this bad boy reputation. I think there was like some mention about his father abandoning his family or something when he was a kid. He also has a broken foot and ended up trying to drive with the broken foot, caused an accident, ended up crashing into like some sort of youth center thing. So he is just surrounded by bad press right now. He really needs some good attention, some good media. It definitely seems like he has a self-destructive streak, which is going to drive me insane, I just know. And he also is very much, woe is me, I don't deserve good things, I'm a bad person. I roll. Therapy. You were making so much money. Therapy. So basically, Ziggy goes to him with this idea that they should be like fake best friends. So he will tarnish her reputation slightly, but she will also improve his reputation. It definitely reminds me of the setup for Fixer Up by Tessa Bailey, and I hated that book. I hated it so much. Already, I don't like how the brother's best friend angle is being treated. Again, I'm jumping into this series in the 6th book. I don't have a basis, so I don't know whether he's really grown up with her, whether he's seen her as a kid previously. It doesn't seem that way, so I don't get what's the huge hang up in that regard. She's 22, and yes, I will say, like, I am a little irritated that she's all, oh my god, everybody's treating me like I'm so young, and you know, she is still fairly young. But at the same time, it kind of feels like, oh, I want people to stop treating me this way. Well, what have you tried? Because from what I've seen, Ziggy has done nothing. It feels very ridiculous in my opinion. I think I'm about 2 hours in, and I think I've come to the decision that I'm going to sleep on it and see how I feel in the morning. But I might be DNFing this and trying again, like from the start of the series. Maybe if I had more of a basis for these characters, I would like them more. Or at least like the family members that we've seen, because there's a good bit of family going on here. But I just don't have any connection to them because this is the 6th book in the series. Because I really want to like this series. I want to like 𝗖cie·Lisa's stuff. This is not a strong introduction for me. It's not. Anyway, so I'm all moisturized and acne dotted up. My skin has been really bad lately. Thankfully, I do have an esthetician appointment tomorrow before we head out of town. guys, happy Sunday, actually. Yeah, I meant to film an update on Friday and on Saturday. That did not happen. However, I do actually have a fair amount of reading updates to talk to y'all about. First off, I read Fence Volume 6 by 𝗖cie heç𝘁𝗰𝘁 and illustrated by Joanna the Mad. It was freaking adorable. This basically follows like a third-rate fencing team and the determination of all of these members to try and be the best. Main character is Nicholas, who is actually the illegitimate son of a Olympic fencing champion. At the same time, we also have 𝗖cie, who is the second in the states at this point. However, he constantly loses to Nicholas's half-brother, and there's a very slow burn relationship that is developing between these two. It was so freaking cute. First off, I loved seeing just the development of so many of the different characters. We see a little bit of depth from Aiden, who is kind of known as like the typical bad boy. He doesn't really care about fencing, but he's actually really good at it. Harvard, who loves to help everybody else. He is the captain of the team, but he doesn't prioritize himself. 𝗖cie and Nicholas's relationship as well, and then a little bit more about both of their backgrounds. Just this one was so freaking good, and it made me so excited to continue reading this series. Unfortunately, though, this is the last one that came out, but it was really freaking cute, and I'm glad I finally got around to this. Friday, I only had a half day. I had an esthetician appointment, which was really nice, and then I headed over to Josh's, and we went with his parents to this haunted hotel. I think I talked to y'all about that a little bit. We actually had a little tour from the owner's father, which was super cool, and he did point out some of the like trick ones that are purposefully fake. Most of the rooms had different themes, so we stayed in the speakeasy room, which is why we had a secret passageway to leave. Awesome. There was a doll room. There was like a oddities room, which they actually had a literal shrunken head. They had some real props from different horror movies. Across the board, it was so much fun. We were only there for the one night, but while we were driving, I got further into Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. I actually hit the halfway point, so I need to film an update for this for a different vlog that I figured out this will work for. I'm liking this. She ends up saving this boy who is thrown overboard from a slave ship, and unfortunately doesn't realize that she kind of kicks off these events to allow one of the other 𝗖ici's to try and garner more power. I'm just not really in love with this as much as I want to be. I really like the writing. I think it's very beautiful, and the way the author has woven in real historical elements with the Atlantic slave trade into the story, I think is very well done. The little callbacks that this will have to The Little Mermaid are also just well incorporated and slid in clever ways. There's a bit of a romance developing between 𝗖cie and 𝗁a, but like, I just don't feel like either of them really have enough personality on their own for me to then really be super interested in a romance between them. They don't have enough personality to have like a very strong dynamic. I'm liking this, but just not as much as I really want to be liking it, unfortunately. I believe when I talked to y'all on Thursday, I told you about how I wasn't sure if I was going to continue reading If Only You. I did come to the decision that I was going to put it down and try again from the beginning of the series, especially when there was a reference seeing Ziggy when she was younger in one of the previous books. And being such a character-based person, I do think having that basis would make me more invested in her and more interested in her story, her relationship with Seb. But I did end up starting into a different, I guess, kind of romance. It's a paranormal romance suspense series. That is The Big Bad Wolf by 𝗖cie heç𝘁𝗰𝘁. The first one being The Wolf at the Door. I think I mentioned a little bit about this. So I read a little bit of this on Friday night when we were driving to the hotel. And then I read a bit of it on Saturday when we were driving back for that entire 2.5-hour drive. And then I finished it this morning. I got really sucked in. I actually got super interested in the mystery, but the developing romance between Cooper and Oliver is just so cute. I actually really enjoy how it's handled because it's not just about their developing romance, it's also about their developing partnership. Park is a werewolf and Cooper was attacked by a werewolf. That was how he found out they exist. And now he works for an offset of the FBI, which is supposed to be tracking down problematic werewolves. They get put together to kind of improve relations between the werewolves and the FBI. So there's a lot of uncertainty between these two, but things start off on a flirty note unintentionally when they don't realize who the other person is. There's like also just that little bit of sexual tension going on. I actually really liked Cooper. I thought he was a very well-developed character. You see through his perspective alone. There's little bits here and there to kind of reinforce that he has a Jewish background, which I thought was very cool. Like in certain Yiddish terms he will use. He also is a bit emotionally constipated and stunted because his mom passed when he was 11 and his father is very much a toxic machismo, men don't show emotion sort of dude, which Cooper has really taken to heart. That also is impacting his developing partnership with Park because he just has such a hard time opening up and trusting people. And again, I love that it's that parallel between them trying to work on a relationship as work colleagues and also a developing romance between them too. It was so good. I really loved it. Also had 2 spicy scenes. The mystery was actually really well done. The action actually pulled me to the edge of my seat. Across the board, this was really good. I've already downloaded the second book. This is a 5-book series, so what are the chances that my April TBR just gets tossed out so I can finish out the series? And I did kind of have an epiphany moment with this. I think when it comes to ebooks, at least ones I read on my phone, I need to like find books that scratch the same itch for me that fan fiction does. Super consumable, and I get invested into the story really quickly, and they're short. So unexpected. But I didn't do nearly as well reading my TBR jar books this week, but I still got some reading done at least. And I actually went to do something fun for a reading vlog for once. I need to start getting ready to head to my parents for Easter. So thank you so much for coming to my channel today, y'all. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. I have all my socials as well as a few ways you can support me linked in the description. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, leave me let's go with a mermaid emoji in the comments. I come out with videos on Monday and Friday, but until then, I hope you continue to have a terrific day. Love you, bye!